Yeah, I really like how our relationship has grown. It's interesting to kind of look back on how it started. Like you said, it was all about kind of getting shredded and just talking about bodybuilding and what's best to do in certain situations and programming and things like that. But now it's evolved past that, and it's nice to kind of look back and see the evolution and how the relationship has slowly grown to or slowly grown from bodybuilding now to just life, and that we can talk about other topics like that. And I definitely think it's become more of a friendship than a kind of coach client type thing. How bodybuilding kind of got the fun taken out of it for me, and I want to go back to discussing that topic um, that we were talking about last week. Well, let me rewind a little bit. Like you said, the knee surgery, I definitely think it's a blessing in disguise. You know, originally I was really bummed out, but now it's given me time to take a step back and look at everything and see it from a different perspective. Because it got to a point for me with the working out where I gravitated away from the bro knowledge and immersed myself in the science behind it, um, which originally was liberating. However, the more and more I got into it, it was almost as if the liberation turned into imprisonment. Yeah, the bro knowledge, you're kind of, when you know the science behind it, you look at them as, wow, they're a slave to that belief and they'll never change over. While to the same token, I just gravitated to the extreme of the science, um, and I was basically a prisoner to the science. And I would train, if I had to train at night, I was already um, telling myself that it wasn't going to go good because I always train in the morning. That's when I have the most energy. Um, that's when I get my best workouts in. And I never used to think that way. I used to just go into the gym and just be ready to kill it. And now it was all about, how many carbs and how many fats do I want to put before my workout for optimal performance, and then how do I want to eat afterwards to, get the best protein synthesis, or um, just feel the best after my workout and things like that. And it's like I became a prisoner to that, and that was almost making it not fun to work out. Um, and just being immobile like I am right now for what is this? This is the fourth week. Um, it's really gotten me to take a step back and look at how trivial these things really are. Bodybuilding shouldn't be something that defines my life. It's not who I am. Um, it doesn't define me. There are so many other things that make up the whole of who I am. Just ingrained that bodybuilding was really the only thing that mattered. It took precedent over everything else, and that, as I look back on it now, is really not a healthy relationship at all. And your prep has definitely helped me look at that, as well as me just kind of having these days of doing nothing where I just look introspectively back on myself, and now I'm definitely at a better place. Um, and I still have 2 weeks on crutches, but I'm in such a better place. I'm not dwelling on a fact like that.
The stuff you touched on about the having going from the bro science to science, like the bro science, you're a prisoner. Then when you got to the science stuff, it kind of freed you from the bro stuff, and then now that you got ingrained in the science stuff, then the science kind of held you prisoner, and it was killing your enjoyment of the sport. And so it's very similar to kind of my path is that I was definitely a bro for a long time. It was before the internet world was even existed. I used to follow bro stuff because that's all I knew. So I was very ingrained in that style of bodybuilding, and then of course I got introduced to more of the sciencey stuff. Like our research and development guy is Eric, Coach Eric Helms. He does a lot of our research and development, so it's his job to do that stuff. So he feeds us all the new stuff and we apply it. And the thing is the way I kind of apply things now, it's not so much based on, okay, science tells us that this is the most optimal way of doing it, and so I'm going to make sure that all my guys do it that way. No, it's like, okay, I take that information, or that research that's found to be pretty good, and then I try to implement it into people's and even my own protocols, as long as it's practical to that person's life. That's, to me, that's more important, is making protocols and making the sport practical for people's lives, so they are having fun. And I think what ends up happening is some people just make it so damn technical and so damn sciencey that they no longer enjoy what they're doing, or it's just they're so worried, stressed, over analyzing everything to a point where it's no longer fun. I'd rather do things like, maybe in science eyes, it's maybe 10%, 15%, hell, even 20% less optimal if it means I'm having more fun, and I'm able to adhere to maybe the way I'm doing things that's more practical for my life, even if it's not, in science eyes optimal. I hate that word anyways. But yeah, I'd rather do things suboptimal to a certain degree if it means I'm enjoying the sport a lot more. So I love the fact that you've been able to kind of, you know, I don't wish that you had the surgery, but it is a blessing in disguise that because of this surgery, you've been able to really get away from what you're doing, like away from the gym. So basically, when you're in the middle of something, sometimes you get blinded. It's like, I remember when I was married for 20 years, I was in that for 20 years, and I couldn't see things the way I see it now that I'm removed from it. Now that I'm removed from that marriage, I could see all the things that were really wrong with it, and it's like, oh wow, okay, wow, I should have been doing things much different. So I think for you having the surgery, you're removed from the situation. You could see more clearly. Like you just got you're no longer in muddy waters. You're like, your water's clear. You could see clear, and now when you go back into the waters, it's not going to be muddy. It's going to be much clearer, and you're probably going to be able to participate in this sport in a much more practical way for you. I think right now you're becoming a better bodybuilder mentally. And when you're a better bodybuilder mentally, uh, the physical part follows. So when you get back into the gym, you're going to be having a new approach, a new perspective, a much better balance. So that's something I know now that I'm in my 40s. I am definitely a much better bodybuilder, mentally than I was in my 20s and even in my 30s. And the physique is just following along with it. So I think it's very awesome, that you're able to figure this out, especially at such a young age. That's what's very cool about it.